Add up everything you've paid for your car over the last 10 years. Gas, insurance, oil changes, brakes. That one repair you didn't see coming, the one that hit right after the warranty expired. For most Americans over 60, that number doesn't stop at $20,000. It doesn't stop at $50,000. For many of you watching right now, that number is somewhere between $80,000 and $100,000. Gone, spent on a machine that loses value every single year. But here's the part that really wears people down. It's not the number itself. It's that you never know what next year looks like. You can't plan around it. You can't control it. And when you're retired, living on Social Security, a pension, savings you spent 40 years building, that unpredictability isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. In this video, we're going to cut through the noise on the Tesla Model 2. We'll look at three things: whether it can actually give you back control over your costs, what Tesla isn't telling you clearly, and the situations where this car could become a very expensive mistake. Before we go any further, if anyone has contacted you asking for a deposit on the Model 2, right now, that is not Tesla. Do not send money to anyone. Tesla has not opened official reservations. We'll talk more about that later.
The real problem, it's not the car, it's the system.
Picture this. You walk out to your garage on a Tuesday morning. Nothing unusual. You start the car and there it is, that little orange light on the dashboard, the check engine light. You already know what's coming, not because you've done anything wrong, not because you missed a service, just because the system works that way. 3 days later, you're sitting in a waiting room at the shop. An hour passes, then a technician walks out, and before he even finishes his sentence, you already know the number is going to hurt. That's scenario 1. Scenario 2, you open the mail one afternoon, and there's a letter from your insurance company. Your premium is going up again. No explanation, no warning, no negotiation. It just went up. And if you want to drive legally, you pay it. Here's something most people in your situation don't know. Your car isn't just getting more expensive because of age. It's because the entire system around it is built to extract money from you consistently, predictably, and without asking permission. Dealerships earn roughly 40 to 50% of their total revenue from service departments. Insurance companies model their premiums around exactly how long drivers like you hold on to vehicles. All of them profit most from the person who keeps their car 7, 10, 15 years and pays for every mile of it. You are the most valuable customer in the automotive ecosystem, and the reason for that is simple. You maintain your vehicles, you drive carefully, and you don't switch often. That's not a compliment, that's a target on your back. Scenario 3, you're back at the garage for the third time this year. Not because you drive recklessly, not because you ignored something, but because the car needs it, again. The problem isn't that you can't afford the repair. The problem is that you have no idea when the next one is coming or how much it will cost. That uncertainty is the real drain, not just on your bank account, but on your peace of mind. The Tesla Model 2 isn't trying to be a cheaper car. It's trying to change how you get charged in the first place. And understanding that difference is what this entire video is about.
What the Model 2 is actually trying to fix.
Let's talk about what Tesla engineered this car to solve. Not in brochure language, but in real-life terms. Problem 1. Costs you can't predict. Gas prices shift every week. A timing belt you didn't know needed replacing. An alternator that goes out right before a holiday. Electric motors have far fewer moving parts than gas engines, which means fewer things that can break and fewer reasons to hand money to a service department you didn't plan on visiting. And electricity from your home outlet runs at the equivalent of about 70 cents per gallon, compared to $4 or more at the pump. If you charge overnight, every morning you wake up to a full tank.
No gas stations, no price spikes, no standing in the cold while the pump counts up. Problem 2, a body that doesn't work the way it used to. This one doesn't get talked about enough because nobody wants to say it out loud. Getting in and out of a car when your knees aren't what they were, when your back tightens up every time you lower yourself into a low seat, that's not a minor inconvenience. Over time, it changes whether you want to drive at all. And when you stop driving, you stop going places. And when you stop going places, things change in ways you can't always get back. The seat height is designed to reduce strain on your back and knees. Not too low like a sedan, not too high like a truck. You sit down the way you'd sit into a chair, naturally, without bracing yourself. The doors open wider than most vehicles in this class, so you're not twisting sideways to squeeze through a gap while carrying groceries or getting up after a long morning. That sounds like a small thing. It isn't. The people who stop driving don't usually stop because of one dramatic event. They stop because the small physical frictions add up, and one day the car just doesn't feel worth it anymore. Good design removes those frictions before they accumulate. Problem 3, technology that takes control away from you. How many times have you had a car beep at you when you were making a perfectly deliberate decision? How many times has lane-keeping assistance tugged at the wheel while you were avoiding a pothole and scared you more than the pothole did? The Model 2 is reportedly being designed around what Tesla internally calls the immediate access philosophy. Physical buttons for climate control, one dial for temperature, one clearly marked button for hazard lights, voice commands that respond to complete natural sentences, not app menus. You shouldn't need to memorize a sequence of taps just to turn the heat up at 65 miles per hour. That is not good design. The Model 2 is supposed to fix it. But every one of these solutions comes with a trade-off, and the next section is where you need to pay the closest attention.
5 engineering decisions you need to understand. If you only remember one part of this video, make it this section. These 5 decisions will either save you money over the next decade or cost you far more than you expected. Decision 1. Gigacasting. Tesla casts large sections of the vehicle frame as single aluminum pieces instead of welding together dozens of smaller parts. This reduces manufacturing cost and increases structural strength. A single-piece frame also means fewer joints that can loosen over time, fewer seams where water and rust begin, and a body that holds its shape longer under normal driving conditions. Here's the trade-off. If you're involved in a moderate to severe collision, not a parking lot tap, but a real impact, that single cast piece cannot be repaired the way traditional body panels can. A body shop can't cut out a damaged section and weld in new metal. The entire cast module has to be replaced. Estimates from insurance analysts suggest repair bills on gigacast vehicles can run between $4,000 and $8,000 for impacts that would have been $1,500 repairs on conventional vehicles. That affects your insurance premiums. It affects whether your insurer decides to fix the car or write it off entirely. And for a vehicle in the $12,000 to $20,000 range, that total loss threshold is lower than you might expect. Decision 2. The smaller battery pack. The Model 2 is targeting roughly 250 to 300 miles of range. For most daily driving, this is more than enough. But in cold weather, range can drop significantly, sometimes by 30% or more. If you're in the Sun Belt, this is barely a concern. If you're in the upper Midwest, the Northeast, or Canada, plan accordingly. And if you regularly drive long distances in a single day, you may need to stop and charge in ways that feel limiting. A shorter battery means the car is not designed for road trips as a primary use case. It is designed for the person who drives predictably, mostly close to home, and charges overnight. If that describes you, the battery is the right size. If it doesn't, take that seriously before you commit. Decision 4. The simplified interface. Physical buttons, cleaner menus, natural voice commands, exactly what drivers have been asking for. For day-to-day use, it genuinely reduces stress and distraction. The trade-off: some settings may reset to Tesla's defaults after software updates. The car is designed to be consistent on Tesla's terms. Decision 5. FSD supervised. Full self-driving. 3 words that have caused more confusion than almost any marketing term in the automotive industry. Here is what it actually is: driver assistance. It can assist with highway driving, traffic, and parking. What it is not is autonomous. You must keep your hands on the wheel. You must stay attentive. If something goes wrong while FSD is active, the legal and financial responsibility is yours. Think of it as assistance, not replacement. All 5 of these decisions point to the same question: is this the right car for your specific life? The next section is where that question gets serious.
4 risks nobody talks about. Risk 1. The total loss threshold. Insurance companies determine whether to repair or write off a vehicle based on one calculation. Does the repair cost exceed a certain percentage of the car's current market value? For a lower-cost vehicle with gigacast repair economics, that threshold arrives faster than most people expect. A moderate collision, a $6,000 repair bill, a car worth $15,000 on paper, your insurer may choose to declare it totaled rather than fix it. They pay you the depreciated market value, which for a first-generation vehicle may be considerably less than what you paid. You walk away with a check and no car. This is not speculation. It's the pattern already playing out with other Tesla models when insurance runs the math on gigacast repair costs. Risk 2. Module replacement economics. When a component in the Model 2's integrated architecture fails, the repair isn't replacing the failed part, it's replacing the entire module. The structural battery pack doubles as the vehicle floor. A serious undercarriage impact doesn't mean a battery repair. It could mean a full battery assembly replacement that costs more than the vehicle itself. Everything is integrated. Everything is efficient. And when one piece of an integrated system fails, you don't replace a part, you replace a system. Risk 3. First-generation production risk. The first 12 to 18 months of any new vehicle platform carry a higher rate of quality variation than later production runs. Early Model 3 deliveries showed panel gaps, water leaks, and interior issues that were corrected in later batches. If you're in the first wave of Model 2 buyers, you may receive a vehicle that performs exactly as advertised. You may also become a data point in Tesla's real-world quality improvement process. Both of those things can be true at the same time. Risk 4. The survival scenario. This is the one most people never think about until they're in it. You're driving alone. An accident happens. The vehicle loses power. The door won't open electronically. Do you know where the manual door release is? Could you operate it with one hand if the other was injured? Tesla builds a mechanical backup release into every door. You pull a small latch and the door opens without electricity. But if you've never practiced it, a moment of genuine panic is not the time to figure it out. Before you take delivery, find it. Practice it. Know it like you know where the emergency brake is. These are not things that happen every day, but when they happen, there is no second attempt.
FSD and the question of control.
One of the things older drivers talk about most is the feeling that the car is second-guessing them. Lane departure systems firing when you deliberately change lanes, automatic braking when you're already in control, alerts beeping so often on a 10-minute grocery run that you turn the whole system off just to drive in peace. That feeling, Technology taking control away from you is one of the deepest frustrations in modern vehicles, and it connects directly to something much larger than convenience. It connects to dignity, to the belief that you are still the one making decisions about your own life, your own route, your own speed. No one wants to feel managed by a machine they paid for. FSD in the Model 2 is supposed to be different. The system supports your decisions, not overrides them. You activate it when you want it, you disengage it when you don't. The car alerts you before it needs you to take over. A sound and a physical vibration through the steering wheel. No guessing, no ambiguity about who is in charge. But here is the honest version. The system is still learning. It performs well on highways and in steady traffic. It is less reliable in construction zones, heavy rain, or unmarked rural roads. Before you rely on FSD, answer 3 questions honestly. Do you know exactly when you would need to take back control? Can you fully disengage it for an entire trip without it resetting? And do you trust it to behave predictably in the kinds of conditions you actually drive in every week? Good technology doesn't control you. It supports you until it's needed, and then it gets out of the way.
Who should actually buy this car?
The Model 2 makes sense for you if you drive mostly within a reasonable daily range, you live in a mild or warm climate, you want to eliminate unpredictable gas and maintenance costs, and you're comfortable relying on Tesla's service network when something needs attention. If your driving life is predictable, the same familiar routes, the same distances, home charging every night, this car fits that life. The economics work, and the lower ongoing cost over 10 years is real. The Model 2 is probably not the right vehicle if you regularly drive long distances in cold weather, if you want the flexibility of any shop being able to work on your car, or if repairability and resale certainty matter more than upfront savings. It is also worth waiting on if you're the type of person who buys a car and doesn't want to think about software updates, system changes, or the occasional notification from a company telling you something in your vehicle has been adjusted remotely. Neither answer is a judgment. It's just an honest match between what this car is built to do and what your life actually looks like. Knowing the difference before you decide, that's the whole point.
There's a moment that happens for a lot of people in their late 60s or early 70s. You start thinking about your next car differently. Not just the features or the price, but whether this is the car that keeps you independent or the beginning of the transition where you start asking other people for rides. That's not dramatic, it's just true. The car you drive, what it costs to keep it, whether you trust it, all of that affects how freely you move through the rest of your life. The Model 2 could be a real tool for protecting that independence, but only if you understand it clearly before you decide, not after. That's what this channel is here for, not to sell you anything, just to give you the honest conversation before anyone asks for your signature. If this helped you, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because next we're going into the Tesla Pi phone, a device that reportedly connects directly to Starlink satellites with no carrier contract and no monthly plan. For anyone on a fixed income who's tired of overpaying for a phone bill, that video is going to matter. Drop the word breakdown in the comments if you want to go deeper on the battery trade-offs, the insurance math, or the repair cost analysis. I read every one, and your questions become the next video. Drive safe, and I'll see you in the next one.